Welcome back, everybody, to the figureFIT Lifestyle Coaching Podcast. I'm your co-host, Liz Nierzwicki, and today I am joined by Vincent Nierzwicki Trifoletti. Sorry, Vince, had to throw that in there. Go ahead and say hi and introduce yourself, everybody. This is my new co-host.
Yeah, I am the son of the second best podcast co-host in the world. I am obviously the first.
Nice.
But I'm I'm very excited to be here. My first time podcasting. So I'm excited to see where it takes us.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you. So, you guys, let me give you a little background. So yes, Vincent is my son. He is now 19. He's going to be 20 next month. I cannot believe it. But you know what? He grew up in the figureFIT lifestyle. I started the figureFIT program when he was probably around 7, 8, maybe even younger than that, working out in the basement of our home. And he would come down there and play with the little cars, like those little matchbox cars. Do you remember that?
I remember I used to have a lot of those, but not really specifically.
Yeah. So what do you remember about us having the gym in the basement when you were really little?
I remember when you would go down there and work out, I was just kind of like attached to you, so I'd always be down there just doing my own thing. If it wasn't working out, if I was too young, I'd still be playing with Matchbox cars, playing with the dog, or doing my thing.
Yeah, you were always like playing with the cars when you were really little. And then what I loved to see was when you started to get older. And really it was like 8th grade when you had headed down into the basement and you started working out all on your own. And you would come up afterwards and you would say, "Hey, mom, what do I have to eat now?" And I would always say, what would I always tell you?
You gotta have a protein shake.
Yes, exactly, which is exactly what I have right now in my hands. I
Yeah,
just
it's
finished.
I just finished mine.
We are trained. So you guys, I really wanted to bring Vincent on as a co-host because he grew up in this lifestyle, and I know that has he does his own thing. He's done the figureFIT workouts before, but he also always does like these um, challenges with himself, and he eats really healthy. And I just thought he'd be a great co-host for the show. And over the years have asked him, and he said yes many years ago, probably 3 years ago now. And it's 2022, and we're finally doing it. So I'm so happy. So what are your thoughts, Vince?
I'm just glad that we actually finally did it. I've just been thinking like it was really this year, kind of later in the year that we really started. We're like, okay, we're actually going to do this. And then I just started to think about into the future and looking back on the day we actually start and then having like a lot of momentum with it. And I'm just really excited to speak my thoughts.
I love it. Yeah, I'm really excited to have you here. So, we've got a couple things to talk about today. We just figured that we'd start the show off today, just kind of introducing Vincent to the world of the figureFIT community. And, we're going to have different topics to talk about, but I want to open this up to the listeners as well. Would love to hear from you on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever you catch the show, maybe even in the our what is it, the comments of the show on wherever you're listening to the show. Leave us some feedback. Mainly, I think Instagram would probably be the best platform to send us a quick note or screenshot the podcast. Let us know that you're listening, and we'll reshare it on our pages, and we'll give you a shout out as well. But we definitely want to hear from you and want to know what you guys want us to talk about. But today we're just going to share just kind of where we're at, and then we're going to go from there. So, Vince, I'm going to let you start and just kind of where are you at right now with your fitness journey, your life, what's going on with you?
I'm in kind of a interesting spot with my fitness journey. I got hurt quite a long time ago. I injured both my wrists, just like, coincidentally happened to be working out. And then fast forward a few months to a year, and then I actually got injured again, not breaking a bone, but it was just a random pain in my ligaments. So I took a break from working out, and then I got into calisthenics. So if people are listening who don't know what that is, it's just a lot of body weight exercises. So pull-ups, push-ups, pistol squats for legs, stuff like that. And ultimately what I'm aiming to do is just have body control mastery, being able to do a slow and controlled muscle up, being able to do kind of, if you think like a gymnast, kind of do some of their tricks, some of their cool things that they do in routines. In terms of my actual workouts now, it's kind of bouncing around. I still haven't found something that I really, really like doing. But calisthenics in general, I really like how it makes me look, how it makes me feel, and all that.
I love that. And actually, what's cool about that is I never really thought about this until you just said that it's really helping you with like body awareness. Actually, two thoughts came to mind. First was when we put you into gymnastics when you were like 16. We have to tell that
That
story.
was no, I don't want to go back to that.
You guys, it was so funny if it
I
was
was
Vincent and then like a kindergartner and the size difference.
it wasn't that young, but I wanted to do like gymnastics, and it was like, yeah, I was like 16. I was sophomore, junior in high school or whatever, and I found a class and I decided to enroll in it, and then I get there and it's like 8 year olds, 10 year olds, and I think I was even older than the instructor was. So
Mm-hmm.
that
And
sucked.
taller.
And oh yeah, I was way taller. And what sucked the worst was all the parents stayed there and just watched the kids for like the hour and a half or whatever it was, and they were just, probably like, what the heck is this ginormous kid doing here?
But you liked it, even though it was kind of awkward. You
I
liked it.
did like it, yeah.
Yeah. I think the thing that made me the most worried was when they started like doing the stuff on the rings. And I was like, if Vincent falls, I was watching one day, I was like, if Vincent falls, that guy's not even going to be able to catch him. So that's what made me worried. I was like, wait, we need to reassess this.
Well, it was it's different at an actual facility. There's like phones that you fall into, so I would have been safe. But now that I'm bigger and I'm doing it and not in a facility, it's a little different.
Yeah, definitely. And the second thing I thought about was how calisthenics maybe is a lot like yoga in some cases, in some of the, like pistol squats, you really have to like be in tune with your body to be able to do some of the moves that you're doing.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've also been stretching every morning for like 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Um, and just that alone, I haven't really been doing it as consistently as I'd like to. But minimum of, a month of doing it. And before I tried doing a pistol squat, and I didn't have like this specific flexibility in order to do it. And
Hmm.
I think it was after a week of legit just a week of doing it every morning, I was able to do a pistol squat like it was nothing.
Oh, wow. That's actually
Yeah.
pretty incredible, but it doesn't surprise me being that I know how good
Yeah.
stretching is for you.
Hmm.
Um, So for those that, are new to the show, I had a yoga studio for almost a decade and taught yoga and then created a yoga school. So I'm very much into the path of yoga. And geez, ever since I closed the studio, I've had this aversion. I haven't really done yoga. I have not been to one single class since I closed it. Did you know that,
You
Vince?
cut out for a second.
I know we're kind of
I
cutting
didn't
out. I
really
think we're having like spotty issues. Hopefully, this doesn't
you
affect the
said.
podcast too much. Um, Yeah, I said I haven't even done a yoga class in so long. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I wanted to,
Sound like a robot. I hear you now.
oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's my internet. Shouldn't be. I got good internet now. Um, but I really wanted to say, like, give you guys a little snippet of where I am. So I don't want to cut you off, and so we'll come back to you. But I have been I was like getting into, I was walking every day for like an hour and a half. And then I kind of got bored with that. And I was like, oh, I need to do Pilates. I forgot how much I loved Pilates. So I signed up for Pilates. And then I literally did 1 week of classes. I did 2 classes this one week and then like one class on the weekend. And then that weekend I broke my middle finger wake surfing. So I had to pause my Pilates membership, and now I am in a tough spot because all I can do is walk. I mean, yeah, all I do is work really. All I'm doing is walking, and like I can do walking lunges, I can do abs, really nothing with my finger, my hands, no lifting. I can't hold anything because I can't wrap my middle finger around anything with my right hand. So it's been pretty challenging. I think most of all, it's just that mental part where you're like, what can I do? But
Mm.
I refuse to have the victim mentality of I can't do anything. I'm just gonna, sit back and do nothing. Like that's just not me. I'm not built that way. I have to work out because if I'm not working out, then my mindset is not as good.
Yeah.
Really, my workouts are very much for my mental health. And if I'm not working out regularly, I just don't feel like myself, you know?
Yeah. I, I totally agree. I forget where I saw this, but it was like if you are so used to working out and then you go like 2 to 3 days without it, then it's kind of just like breaking the cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just like last week, my schedule at work was so busy. And then all I really could do is walk. And I really want to get like a 45-minute to an hour long walk in. And I was so busy last week that most of the week, I think I only got one workout in. So I was
Mm.
really, really having a tough time. And then this week, my schedule was doing the same. And my, leadership team is like asking for all these different meetings. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't do all of this and my job and my workouts. Like I
Yeah.
need me time. And so that's my takeaway today. I know you've got one, but my takeaway is I saw this last week. I think it was on Instagram, and it was this voiceover that said, "You're not a slave to your company,"
Mm.
and like you don't have to put yourself on the back burner for your job. And I know a lot of people, especially at my age, I'm mid 40s, who we're in the prime of our careers right now. We're getting paid really well. And a lot of people, do put their job first, and rightfully so, because it's paying the bills, it's, really affording them a great lifestyle. But at the same time, when it's affording you your health, your mental health, your physical health, it's you've got to figure out a way to be able to do your job effectively, but also, maybe cut some things out in your personal life that give you time to, do an hour long walk in the morning to really just set your mind for the day. And I've lived this lifestyle for so long that I can do this easily. It may take me a couple of days to really like figure it out. Like, okay, where am I going to put this in my schedule over the next like week? Um, and maybe I can't for a week. For example, over the last week, I couldn't. It was my schedule was kind of all over the place, random meetings here and there. I like having a set routine. I like having a workout at a specific time during the day. But last week I couldn't do that. So when I run into things like that, I'm like, okay, I can't live this way. And I have to figure out when my schedule is erratic like that, how can I and where can I fit in my workouts, even if they're 15 minutes, because even that is going to help me reset my mind a little bit.
Hmm.
So that's my takeaway today is, making sure that, I want people to know, like, a lot of us have the same kind of issues, the same kind of problems around work, finding time to fit in our workouts, or even downtime. And my tip for everybody is really just try to have a main routine. And then when that main routine is thrown out the window because you got a lot of random things happening, for example, Christmas, perfect example of the time of the year that many, many people's schedules get out of whack because a lot of parties and invites to different parties or happy hours where people kind of get out of their routine. So what I decided is that, I can choose the first hour of my day And if that means I need to wake up 30 minutes earlier, then I'm going to wake up 30 minutes earlier and I'm going to go for a walk. And that's what I'm doing right now. So it might be temporary for now, just, because my schedule is so busy. But at the same time, I know that I have to prioritize my well being over everything. Because if my well being is prioritized, then I will do so good in every other area of my life. My work will thrive, my relationships will, thrive, and I'll be, on target, or I'll be on point when I'm having my meetings. But if I don't feel good emotionally and physically, then all those areas suffer as well. So
Yeah,
that's my takeaway for today. How about you?
I agree with that. Your well-being kind of just directs your path with business, with working out, with just overall a healthy lifestyle. And that's kind of something I've been struggling with too recently. Like I know like, off the podcast we've been talked, I've been kind of just really haven't felt like myself recently, been kind of just cloudy, I guess. And I found what really helps me is sticking to a morning routine. What I like to do, I wake up, take a shower, but I used to do cold showers, but can do them or not. It's kind of a love-hate relationship.
Totally.
But I stretch for about 15 minutes and then I do some breathing exercises. And I'm kind of figuring out which ones I like because there's more than just Wim Hof, even though I
Mm-hmm.
love that one. Um, and this is all when I do my actual morning routine. So I'll stretch, I'll do some breathing exercises, and then I'll do some sort of meditation or visualization. And then I journal the things that I'm grateful for. And when I do that routine, I've noticed specifically that the rest of my day is just, I'm so much more happy. I'm so much, I'm talkative because I'm not super talkative in person. I can if, I really, really like you if we have something in common to talk about. But I'm just overall, my health is just feels way better. And my takeaway for people is to focus on, needle moving activities. So if you're one thing I'm trying to do this year, and I have a lot of goals for myself, is to increase, to just get better with my overall mental health, um, my lifestyle with working out, and to focus on, needle moving activities. So in this case, I've recently been waking up and I haven't been doing my morning routine. I've just been getting straight into work and my days haven't felt as good as they used to. So I've restarted to do those morning routines and I'm focusing on those because I know how beneficial those are. And in the gym, like, for example, today I was doing legs and I really hate Bulgarian split squats, but I know that with what I'm trying to do with working out, that's going to help me, get to where I'm trying to be. And so, I ended up doing it. I just had that conversation with myself. I'm like, if I skip this, then I'm going to be, not happy with myself later. So I had to just, put my pride aside and do it.
Suck it up, man. Get it done.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I love that. I love that you said that today, needle moving activities, because like I heard that so long ago and I used that when I wrote my book. I used it because like writing a book is one of the hardest things ever. And I'm actually thinking about writing another book, Vince. Um, another like self-development book. Um, but like if you think about like a book, like it's so big, you have to write all these chapters. But if you just sit down and write like one for 20 minutes, like 20 minutes, there's one thing I could say in a 20-minute segment that, is like a building block. And it took me, gosh, I want to say maybe 9 months to collectively write the book. And I did have
Mhm.
help. I had a ghostwriter. So, but yeah, it's needle moving activities, just like this podcast, you guys. So it's been years since I podcasted. This figureFIT podcast kind of got put on hold when I made some big changes in my life and I closed my yoga studio and then I pivoted and went into the financial industry. And so I really just put this on hold, not the figureFIT company because it's still out there, but this service, right? I just put it on hold. And then when Vincent and I decided to do this podcast, we met like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, and we had to download, what did we try? It was
It
Skype,
was it was Skype, and that was a nightmare. And then Zoom
Zoom.
was also a nightmare.
Yeah.
And
And so, and then I was using a hotspot, you guys. I didn't even have Wi-Fi in my apartment. And I was like, okay, well, that's a needle moving activity. I needed to get the internet. And then the other thing was our microphones have an old headset jack. Like they don't make those anymore, right? These little, I mean, they do, but it's not very common to have this like old headset jack. And we both had to have this headset in order to hear the sound through the computer. And so then next week, we're like, okay, well, we figured out the platform. Now we need headphones. So those are just needle moving activities. And now we're here, we're recording a podcast. So, we really just wanted to come out today and introduce Vincent and share with you just where we're at in our lives right now, what we're working on. And we'll go from here, in next week's podcast. So before we get off though today, Vince, let everybody know what you're doing, like where they can find you and how to connect with you.
yeah, if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. I'm thinking about doing YouTube, just kind of documenting business, working out and all that. But it's just Vince Trifoletti, and that's it.
Spell that.
Vince, and then Trifoletti, Trifiletti. It's on Facebook and on Instagram. Reach out, say what up.
Yeah. And then you guys can follow me at liznierzwicki.com. I'll let you figure out how to spell my last name. I'm just kidding. It's Nierzwicki. I'm on Instagram. I'm also on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. For the figureFIT podcast, we have a Facebook page. We also have an Instagram page, and we have a YouTube channel with a ton of content. So I'd love to connect with you guys on any of those platforms and let us know what you think about today's show. We'd love to hear from you, and we would love to get your feedback and also really learn from you what you are in need of at this point in your journey. We'll be talking about everything from lifestyle, habits, rituals, fitness stuff, nutrition. We're going to have guests on the show. So just let us know if there's anything high on your mind, and we'll try to get that a show out about that. So that's all I have for today. I'll let you close this out, Vince.
That's all I've got. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
All right, guys, take care. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.